The studio lights glowed warmly as the familiar theme music of Lorraine faded into the background. The audience applauded politely, unaware that what was supposed to be a routine celebrity interview was about to spiral into one of the most talked about television moments of the year. Kate Winslet sat comfortably on the plush gray sofa, legs crossed, hands folded calmly in her lap. Dressed in a simple yet elegant navy blue outfit, she looked every bit the Oscar-winning actress admired around the world. Her smile was polite, controlled, professional. But beneath that composed exterior, something felt off. Lorraine Kelly, ever the seasoned host, glanced at her cue cards and smiled broadly at the camera. "Welcome back. Now, I'm absolutely thrilled because joining us today is the incredible Kate Winslet," Lorraine said warmly. "Kate, it's always lovely to see you." "Thank you, Lorraine," Kate replied, returning the smile. "It's good to be here." At least, that's what she said. The interview began smoothly enough. They discussed Kate's latest film, an intense historical drama already gaining Oscar buzz. Kate spoke thoughtfully about the challenges of the role, the emotional weight of the character, and the importance of telling stories that mattered. Lorraine nodded along, interjecting occasionally with light-hearted comments, exactly as viewers expected. But then, slowly, the tone began to shift. "So Kate," Lorraine said, tilting her head slightly, "this role, another strong, suffering woman. Some critics are saying it's becoming a bit of a pattern for you. Always the tragic figure. Do you worry about being boxed in?" Kate blinked once. It was subtle, almost unnoticeable. But to anyone watching closely, it was the first crack in the glass. "I don't see strong women as a box," Kate replied carefully. "I see them as a reflection of reality. Women's lives are complex." Of course, Lorraine chuckled lightly, but audiences do love a bit of glamour too, don't they? Some fun. Not everything has to be so heavy. Kate's smile tightened. "I don't choose roles based on how light they are," she said. "I choose stories that feel honest." A brief silence followed. Lorraine shifted in her seat, sensing resistance but pressing on anyway. "Honest, yes, but some people online have said they're a bit tired of the misery," Lorraine continued. One comment said, "Kate Winslet never smiles anymore." The studio audience laughed nervously. Kate didn't. "I'm not here to smile on command," she said, her voice calm but noticeably firmer. "I'm here to do my job." Lorraine laughed again, but this time it sounded forced. "Oh, don't be silly," she said. "You know what I mean." Kate turned her head slightly toward Lorraine, meeting her eyes directly. "I know exactly what you mean." The atmosphere in the studio shifted. Crew members exchanged glances behind the cameras. The producer leaned forward in the control room, sensing trouble. Lorraine cleared her throat. "Well," she said quickly, "let's talk about something a bit lighter then. Your body image comments recently caused quite a stir." Kate's jaw tightened. "Yes," Kate said. "They did. You spoke about refusing digital retouching and unrealistic beauty standards," Lorraine continued. "But some people, women included, said it felt a bit preachy. Like you were judging those who do want to look a certain way." Kate inhaled slowly. "I was speaking about my own boundaries," she said. "Not judging anyone. But surely," Lorraine pressed, "as a public figure, you must expect pushback when you make such strong statements." Kate nodded. "I expect discussion," she said. "Not distortion." Lorraine raised an eyebrow. "Distortion?" "Yes," Kate replied, turning. "I choose this for myself. Into everyone else is wrong. That's not what I said." The audience was silent now. Lorraine smiled again, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Well, that's television for you," she said lightly. "Things get taken out of context." Kate leaned forward slightly. "Then maybe," she said, "we should stop taking them out of context." The words landed heavily. Lorraine laughed awkwardly. All right. No need to get so serious." Kate leaned back, crossing her arms. "I'm serious because it matters." A long pause followed. The director whispered urgently into Lorraine's earpiece, suggesting a quick transition. Lorraine nodded almost imperceptibly. "Okay," Lorraine said brightly, clapping her hands softly. "Let's take a short break and come back talking about something a bit more fun, Kate's early days and some behind-the-scenes stories." The camera zoomed out as the show cut to commercials. But the moment the red light turned off, everything changed. Kate exhaled sharply and turned to Lorraine. "You didn't need to frame it that way," she said quietly. Lorraine blinked. Frame what way, love? You implied I was being negative. Again, Kate replied. Lorraine crossed her legs, her smile fading. Well, Kate, this is a morning show. People want warmth, not lectures. Kate stared at her. I wasn't lecturing, she said. I was responding to your questions. Lorraine sighed. You're being a bit defensive. Kate laughed once, a short, humorless sound. I'm being honest. A producer hurried over, lowering his voice. Ladies, we're back in 30 seconds. Kate stood up. What are you doing? Lorraine asked, startled. I'm not going back out there, Kate said. Lorraine's eyes widened. Don't be ridiculous. I won't sit there and be subtly mocked for having principles, Kate replied. That's not what happened, Lorraine snapped. Then perhaps you should rewatch the footage, Kate said coolly. The producer looked panicked. Kate, please, this will look bad. Kate turned to him. It already does, she said. Lorraine stood up too now, her friendly TV host persona slipping. You can't just walk off, Lorraine said sharply. This isn't how things are done. Kate met her gaze, unflinching. Maybe that's the problem. The countdown echoed in the studio. 5, 4. Kate picked up her bag. Kate, Lorraine hissed. 3, 2. Kate walked toward the exit. 1. The show returned from break, but Kate Winslet was no longer on the sofa. Lorraine sat alone, blinking at the camera. Well, she said, forcing a smile, we'll, be right back after this. The internet exploded within minutes. Clips of the tense interview spread like wildfire. Headlines screamed speculation. Kate Winslet storms off Lorraine. Explosive clash on morning TV. Was Kate Winslet kicked off, or did she walk away? But behind the scenes, the truth was far more complicated. And this was only the beginning. Within minutes of the broadcast cutting to an unscheduled break, social media was already in flames. Short clips of Kate Winslet's tense expressions, Lorraine Kelly's awkward laughter, and the sudden empty sofa were being replayed on X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag Kate Winslet walks off. Hashtag Lorraine show drama. Hashtag morning TV meltdown. But what viewers didn't see, the moments after the cameras stopped rolling, was where the real confrontation unfolded. Behind the studio doors, Kate moved swiftly down the corridor, heels clicking sharply against the polished floor. A runner tried to keep up. Ms. Winslet, please, can we talk? Kate didn't stop. I've said everything I needed to say, she replied, her voice controlled but cold. Behind her, Lorraine emerged from the studio, no longer smiling. No longer the nation's comforting morning companion. This is unbelievably unprofessional, Lorraine said sharply. You've embarrassed the show. Kate stopped and turned around. No, she said calmly. The show embarrassed itself. Several crew members froze, pretending not to listen while catching every word. You came on knowing the format, Lorraine continued. Light questions. Friendly chat. And I answered honestly, Kate replied. You pushed. Repeatedly. Lorraine folded her arms. You could have played along. Kate shook her head. I'm done playing. The producer stepped between them. Let's all just take a breath. Kate, maybe we can record a quick wrap-up. Clear the air. Kate looked at him, then at Lorraine. Only if the questions are respectful, she said. Lorraine scoffed. So now we're being lectured again. Kate's eyes hardened. That, she said, is exactly why I'm leaving. She turned and walked away, disappearing through the exit doors as flashes from paparazzi cameras lit up the morning air outside. The official statement. By midday, Lorraine's production team released a carefully worded statement. This morning's interview with Kate Winslet became unexpectedly tense due to differing viewpoints. Lorraine Kelly and the show remain committed to open discussion and regret that the segment ended prematurely. But fans weren't buying it. Within an hour, Kate's publicist released her own statement, short, direct, and devastatingly clear. Kate Winslet chose to leave the interview after feeling repeatedly misrepresented and undermined. She stands by her right to speak honestly without being trivialized. The media picked sides instantly. Some tabloids painted Kate as difficult, overly sensitive, and unable to take a joke. Others praised her as brave, authentic, and done with patronizing television. Celebrities quietly began weighing in. An Oscar-winning actress tweeted, "Women are allowed boundaries. Period." A well-known TV host posted, Greater than, morning shows love honesty, until it gets uncomfortable. The debate exploded far beyond one interview. Lorraine under pressure. Inside ITV headquarters, tension was thick. Executives watched the clip repeatedly, analyzing every word, every expression. Ratings were already climbing, but so were complaints. One executive rubbed his temples. "She didn't technically do anything wrong," he said. "But it looks bad." Another shook her head. "It looks like we poked until we got a reaction." Lorraine sat silently at the end of the table, arms crossed. "I was doing my job," she said firmly. She came in defensive. Or, another executive replied carefully, she became defensive. That silence spoke volumes. Later that afternoon, Lorraine addressed the incident on her show. "I never want guests to feel uncomfortable," she said, eyes trained on the camera. "If Kate felt that way, I'm genuinely sorry." The apology sounded polite, but it didn't sound personal. Viewers noticed. Kate breaks her silence. 2 days later, Kate Winslet appeared, not on television, but on a long-form podcast known for thoughtful, uninterrupted conversations. No flashy lights, no cue cards, no forced laughter. And for the first time, she explained everything. "I didn't walk off because I was angry," Kate said calmly. "I walked off because I felt diminished." She paused before continuing. "There's this expectation that women, especially as we age, should soften everything we say. Smile more. Be grateful. Be entertaining." The host nodded. "And you didn't want to do that." "I refuse to," Kate replied. "I've spent decades fighting to be seen as more than decoration." She described how the interview questions felt less like curiosity and more like correction. "As if my choices needed approval," she said. "As if honesty was a flaw." The clip went viral. This time, overwhelmingly in her favor. A shift in the conversation. What started as celebrity drama became something bigger. Morning shows across the UK quietly adjusted their tone. Hosts became more cautious. Questions more thoughtful. Media critics wrote op-eds titled, "Why Kate Winslet Walking Off Was a Wake-Up Call. The Politeness Trap for Women on TV." Even Lorraine Kelly addressed the backlash again, this time more candidly. "Maybe," she admitted on air one morning, "we all need to listen a bit more and poke a bit less." It wasn't a full admission of fault, but it was closer than expected. The unexpected outcome. Weeks later, Kate Winslet attended a major film premiere. When asked about the Lorraine incident on the red carpet, she smiled gently. "I don't regret standing up for myself," she said. "If it made people uncomfortable, maybe that discomfort was necessary." The reporter nodded. "And would you ever return to the show?" Kate paused, considering. "Only for a real conversation," she said. "Not a performance." Back at Lorraine, the sofa felt a little emptier than before. Not because a guest walked off, but because something had changed. Audiences had seen behind the smiles. And they couldn't unsee it.